morning, South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast as Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of the day.
So call in at 888-565-1470 to share a tip of the day.
Or just to say good morning. Shake off your sleepies, buckle in, cause it's showtime!
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. And a beautiful, you know how nice it is today?
It's a beautiful
It's
105 degrees in
You
South
started
Florida.
off good.
It's 105?
No, I don't know what it
It
is.
started off good today. Yeah.
Oh, it's starting out better than good. It is rocking. Now, I got to tell you, I'm really excited. I got to turn that monitor so I can see it. I'm really excited to make an announcement today. Really excited. Number one,
Yes?
Florida's getting better,
Good.
healthier. We're getting there, baby. It's all happening. That's
Okay.
great news.
That is great news.
And then the other part is, what the hell is wrong with everybody?
What do you mean?
The world is upside. People are upside down.
Pretty much.
No, this has gotten to a point that is pretty freaking scary.
What happened?
What happened? You got cops holding on to people by the shirts and shooting them 7 times in the back.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
get it.
I don't get that. Forget about it. That doesn't even make sense in the common world. Forget about it making sense in the uncommon world.
Correct.
You got people, all sorts of pandemonium. The Marlins are winning double headers in games
I'm not surprised they're
with
good.
19 sub players. These guys aren't even on the roster. These guys are nobodies.
He's talking
And I
about
saw a
baseball,
kid
baseball.
pitching for the Marlins yesterday, 6'4", 6'6", throwing BBs. The whole world is upside down.
And how badly do you feel right now for Louisiana?
Well, this is another thing. This hurricane that they were supposed to have fizzles out to
I've
nothing.
never seen anything fizzle out as it's getting ready to hit land.
It gets stronger
And
because
then
of the
this
hot
other
water.
One, this other one is
The second
going to
one
be devastating.
is going to be a 4, a 2, a 4. There's a guy on the news and he says, I told you. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? It's going to be a 4. Didn't I tell you? He has his hand in his pocket. A well-known guy in New York City. Like nobody believed him. The whole world has gotten upside down.
100%.
How can I focus on these tests if there's hurricanes in this pandemic?
That's true.
Uncle. Yeah, it's kind of like.
But check it out. 21% of the virus is now in the kids going to school. Well, what do you expect? When you open up the school, you're lucky it's not 40%, but it will be. You just wait long enough, it will be.
I got to tell you, this is a movie that I don't even think the greatest creators in Hollywood could have written a year like 2020. You know, yesterday I stood here with the kids and we sat and we talked about a lot of things. And I said to them, you know, we're getting ready for the last quarter of 2020. And I thought maybe I was exaggerating. And I actually sat down last night and I wrote out some proposals. We are entering the last quarter of 2020. Our first quarter was the last quarter we actually did business in the United States. And then for 6 months of the year, everyone has been dealing with this. Now we're going into the last quarter. You know what happens in the last quarter, at least in Florida. You hit Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and everyone stops working. So for businesses right
Well, it's
now,
okay.
if you don't push to grow,
It stopped working. Nobody ain't working anyway.
that's not true. There's a lot of traffic on the roads, I can tell you.
Traffic? Now, I'm going to tell you another
There's a
thing.
lot of traffic.
I stopped at the gatehouse on my way home. And I said to the guy's name is Pierre. I said, Pierre, why is there so much traffic on the road? He says, Freddie, I'm going to tell you something. People have come in here and say, hey, how you doing? And then they've turned around, they don't belong in here all day. And I said, why? He said, because people have nothing to do.
Really, there's
What
traffic
the
around?
hell is that?
What is it? Up north. I'm not saying it's happening down here, but up north, like when there's a bad blizzard and everything shut down, usually everybody goes out just to go out,
Really?
just for human.
You know, I know
contact. Yeah.
somebody like that. And her
Just-
daughter, after every hurricane, they go on the road to watch the damage.
Oh,
Vinny
I do that
doesn't.
too. It's like seeing the world like got destroyed a little bit, but then repairing itself. Like see all the debris, the mess, the people waiting in lines for
Repairing
stuff. It's
the world.
like wow.
The world is upside down.
God, I wish I was seeing photography back
Upside
then.
down is right side up.
like they-
I have never seen anything like this.
But I have to tell you, I woke up this morning Here's a little bit of good news. So happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Show. I am your host, Dawn, and this is my crazy partner, Freddie, over here having some coffee. So welcome, everyone. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A. So there's enough of our housekeeping, but I woke up this morning to a very lovely text from a guest we had on last week. Kelsey was co-hosting the show with me. Ask Dear Abby. And I hadn't heard from her in a week, and we have a lot of people that come through our studio, and I don't get in contact with everyone. She sent me the most lovely text, and ever since she was on our show, the amount of support and outpouring of what she does has been so unbelievable. She cannot wait to do another segment with us and bring Dear Abby to a vlog.
Yeah, I saw
What
that.
a nice way to wake up, I got to tell you.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't get involved too much in that conversation when you guys were having it. Was I even here? But it was the Dear Abby piece.
You weren't here that day, right? But you did write in and said a Dear Abby vlog would be unbelievable.
I grew up on Dear Abby.
I think a lot of people did.
New York Daily News, 1970 to 1980. I grew up on Dear Abby. And people used to write in there about relationships. Then I found out that Dear Abby has 17,000 people help her write the column. And she used to put her name on it. Then I found out Dear Abby retired about 10 years ago, and they kept it going with other people. They made a movie about it.
Yep. Wasn't it Ann Landers?
Yes. They finally said it was Ann Landers, but I heard it wasn't Ann Landers. I heard it was somebody else. But what a great segment that would be.
I'm telling you, what we're going through right now, I really think it is going backwards to simplicity with technology, if that makes any sense. We have to use the resources we have with technology, but it's going back to those simpler times of what made people feel good. What was the newspaper? The Daily Planet, right? Where Superman and Lois Lane wrote? I don't know why, I just had an idea when you said Dear Abby. It's almost like our Cafe Press needs to come out again as the Daily Planet, and we put in Ask Dear Abby in this, and we go back just old school and simplicity and one or two things in the Cafe Press at a time.
But that's what I wanted originally. You guys decided to make it a major league production that
But
I would
people
pay
don't have-
$10 a month for, to
But
be honest
people
with you.
aren't, don't have time to read all this content in one thing. So I think one or two, Ask Dear Abby or This Week in History. Apparently, Vinny, I think you had a big day in history today, from what I was told.
He does?
I don't know what you're doing, but you may want to check it out. Because I heard today is National Women Equality Day.
Again?
Always.
Didn't we just have that?
No, apparently it's today.
How come there's never any National Equality Men
Because
Day?
you've got 364 other days, apparently, that are
Press Day.
National Man Equality
Or
Days.
Man Day. How come we don't have a Man Day?
Life is Man Day.
That ain't fair. That's a Man Day? That's a man cave.
But today I heard is National Women Equality Day, and it is National Dog Day. So if you saw the post, those are my grand dogs that were posted on the cafe.
Grand dog.
Those are my grand puppies, yes.
So now you're associating animals with human beings. They are your grandchildren.
No, they're my grand dogs. They're not children. Although one of them seems to think she is because she only comes out to eat my food.
How come there was two, though?
One is Chelsea's and one is Aaron's.
I
is
lost
why.
count.
That is why there are two. So those are my grand dogs for National Dog Day.
Now, I wanted to touch on base. Yesterday, Amy Rashevsky did a show, and we had half a leg on
Allison
that
Perlman.
one. And Allison also did the second half of that show. And Allison said some very interesting piece. Now, people who don't know who Allison Perlman is, she happens to be a superstar PR company who has superstars like Kiss and Bon Jovi and different entertainers.
Yeah.
And she travels with them and she books them and she adds the artistic value to what they do because they're painters and things of that nature, right? And she came out strong talking about the digital world. And I had to laugh. I had to do everything to stop giggling. Because what we do every day in production is the digital world. We also have done digital marketing in, like you said, the Cafe Press. We've done digital marketing in our...
But you know what happened is we were ahead of our time. And people didn't realize what we were doing and the impact it had until they had to step up into the digital world. And now they suddenly realize that it exists. It's not as easy as it looks. And it is powerful, but you have to look at things a little bit differently. It's more of a closed, it's like when you look through a circle on your hand and everything looks kind of smaller and bigger. Ever do that? Where you can actually see the camera this big? You're putting all of this information into something this big.
Yeah, but I was touched by the fact that she's using the technology now because obviously you can't travel. Concerts are on hold, and
Yeah.
she was doing a world tour. She told us that it has not been canceled,
It's been postponed for a year.
postponed. So if you have your tickets, save them, put them in a vault or something, because they're
Yeah.
not going to give you the money back. They ain't not canceling that.
Sure.
But the interesting aspect, she was amazed at some of the things you guys put together. And she did some homework. Now, I know what she did. She has a group of people that work with her, and they probably went in there and dissected us like a fine-tooth comb. And they saw your shows and the podcasting and everything else that you guys are doing. And Slick, let me congratulate you again on the second promo you did. Again, fabulous, fabulous material. In a world that the whole world is bombarding social media to try to get some attention, I still saw Slick's piece, and the way he's promoting it with the word SLICC, it just catches the eye. And I think that that's what she noticed, eye-catching. And that's the difference in our business. And I know that a lot of people in the production business have called us. I got a call from Channel 12 yesterday.
Nice.
And I had to call Adam back today because they want to do something. But it's funny because none of this would have happened to me without the pandemic. Do you realize that? No, don't give me the face.
I'm thinking. Which
Well,
part
that's
of
the
it?
question of the day.
Which part?
The
I'm not
digital marketing. What people are calling digital marketing.
The awareness of it.
Ask the three kids in the room. Ask Slick. Ask Vinny. Ask Teddy. You guys ever taken digital marketing to the degree and the level that you guys do now?
Marketing
At all?
at this degree, because it's gonna be like probably like I would say a small percentage of it, but right now I'm like really into it thanks to you guys, but like I feel like digital marketing for me was, I didn't know I was gonna touch it at all. I thought I was just gonna touch the background aspect of production.
But did you ever know that you had the quality, you had the content, you had the delivery? And it's funny because you're going to get better at it. I mean,
Oh,
you're still
true.
a rookie at doing it.
True, yeah.
And your interviewing skills is still green. I mean, you
True.
got a whole bunch of learning, but you're in the game.
Correct, yeah.
Did you ever think you were going to be in the game?
Especially coming off of 2020, I didn't think I was gonna be actually in the game, but I'm like, wow, I'm actually making a footprint or imprint into
And that's what I'm
Nice.
talking about. Vinny, you did the same thing. When you first came here, you didn't think you were going to be in front of a mic. You were just looking to do something behind your camera. We're sort of pushing you away from the camera to do more of the mic. And you're hilarious. You got a great sense of humor. Did you think you were going to be in front of a camera?
No, but I assume soon enough I will be on by some random reason. And my first guy here is like, the second week, things like, Vinny, why did you make your own show? I was like, what? What?
But you see their growth. But I have to tell you, there is no one, and you can all have a green eye if you want, that has a more committed crew, more dedicated, and more I got your back teamwork crew than we do right here.
I agree. 100%.
Right? So
100%.
whatever it is, and everyone's working hard, and I get it. Our crew has 100% behind every person here, behind them, with them, by their side, got their back, shows up, works hard, and continues to grow, and put shows forward for all of you. It's not just what they're doing for them and for us, it's for everybody else. So all of these new shows we've got coming up, BYOB has a new show that we're working on. Bridget has a new show that she's hosting, The Business Kitchen, Dear Abby, everything that you guys are doing is for everybody else. And each one of them sits together and they teach each other and they grow as a team. And that is, talk about a culture in a company is amazing.
Well, the bottom line here is that we always thought that streaming was going to be the wave of the future. At least I did. And I told Gio, when he explained to me how this whole
He's
thing
so
worked,
funny.
I said to him, you know something, we're no different than NBC, ABC, and CBS, but we're cheaper. It doesn't take $10,000 an hour. Is that what they quoted us? It was $10,000?
5 minutes.
For 5 minutes.
It was $9,700 for 5 minutes.
$9,700. It doesn't take $9,700 for 5 minutes
Yeah.
to do this. Once you capture it, and all of a sudden the magic begins to happen. But you cannot replace the parts of delivery. You know, what Vinny does with his sense of humor, what Slick does with his background. Now I feel sorry for Teddy because Teddy was actually the first.
You
She's
feel
been
sorry
the
for
guinea.
Teddy?
Yeah, because she was the guinea pig. She's the one that we threw everything at and then we saw her reaction. Okay, what's she gonna do? But she took it on, and she's made it her own.
She's
and,
producing her first show.
and she's gonna be producing her first show.
Is there a name on the first show, Teddy? Girls Chronically Rock. And this is about disabled Black Lives Matter.
And yell with the mic on.
Is that what this is?
This is about
Keisha.
the story of Keisha
Oh,
Graves,
About what? Hold on a second. About what?
about her life,
Her life.
becoming disabled as a junior in grad school, and her journey to like accepting it.
Or like yes.
Keisha Graves it is, right?
Yep.
And the funny thing is that all the people that relate are relatable to that material. I'll never forget the day that we had the young lady that came in a wheelchair, and she did a show at the gallery, and then I surprisingly had her come, and she walked. Remember that?
Lisa Lynch, yeah.
Lisa Lynn, and you didn't know she was coming, but she wanted to walk to you on the stage. And then I brought in the singer
Yep.
who sang that song, and there wasn't a dry eye in the room.
No.
But how many people? You know, I went to the beach a couple of weeks ago. You remember those ramps that she put in play? And I stood on this ramp, and I made Linda take pictures of me.
Really?
Because I am so proud that those ramps are there, and that person was with us in studio when they first came out.
We should reach out to her. She hasn't been. She was at the studio once.
Yeah.
So I remember she came through. She picked up her wheelchair, and you actually helped her put it in the car. And
Yep.
she came through the front door. We offered to open the bay, and she said, "No, I got this."
Yep, I remember that. And she did. And she does everything by herself. I wonder how she's handling through all
So
of these
we should
things
reach
as
out to
well.
her.
But I remember when the guys first came down here. I'll never forget. I looked at Slick and I said, "I wonder what it's gonna be like." Now you got Hector involved in the animator doing his cooking show.
Oh my gosh, his show on Saturday mornings, the chicken wings, unbelievable. People were sharing it out on how to make chicken wings because it's his delivery. You and I were talking this morning about some other shows we do. Your content is great. If your delivery is amazing, it's even better. It's about how you say what you've got to say.
That's right. So now I've been watching them do their thing, and now I want to enhance the shows. I want to do more to the shows. I want to add some more bells and whistles. I want to add a couple of pieces. And Vinny, you're up today, right?
Uh-huh.
What time is your show?
10 o'clock.
And are you by yourself or do you have a guest?
By myself.
Good. Then I'm going to ask you to do something different today.
Shoot.
I want you to do it out here.
All right.
And I want you to do it standing. And I want to put some background on you. And I want to enhance Vinny. I want people to learn who this kid is because I'm going to tell you, you keep an eye on this kid.
You do it right here.
What?
Do it right over there.
I don't care what he does it, but I want him to do it out here. And I want to change it. I want to change it up. You showed me something yesterday when you did your pieces, the commercial runoffs. When you did that, you showed me, you opened your window. And you can't open your window around me because I saw something really, really great going
What
on.
commercial runoffs?
When he went in there, he talked
when
about.
you did your commercial spots when we went to commercial break.
What did I do again? Yesterday. I know I did the Wizard of Oz, but I don't remember what I did
said how
exactly.
you did it.
You don't need to know it because it's you. You're not It was clean. It was a delivery, and it had a close. You had a middle, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I gotta tell you, it was pretty good. And I showed it to Gio. I showed it to some people, and they said, you know something? Vinny's the only person holding him back. He can blow it up. So I'm gonna make the stage bigger because I want you to feel it. I want to see what you got because you got it. We just need to listen and hear it. I'm gonna tell you, I was impressed.
Look, Slick's all happy. He's like, "That's my boy." He's like, "Yeah, he's got this."
Now Slick has in his own right. He has his own delivery.
Absolutely.
But Slick and Vinny are two different worlds apart because Slick has been doing it longer.
They're two different people, two different shows, two different
Two different
personalities.
everything.
Yeah.
That's right, and they bleed off of one another. But I'm gonna tell you, I asked something on Monday to kids to put something together, and Slick listened, and he's put out 2 promos, and I want them to be able to put out 5 promos. Slick has his own Facebook page. Is that what we're doing now?
Sorry guys, technical difficulties. Facebook, I have Spotify, Anchor, and I think that's it. Besides the Twitter page, for
That's a lot
the
of
page.
pages, though.
Yeah.
From a guy who, when you first came, he always says, "How
I
you
only
doing?"
had a Facebook page. Yeah.
We
But-
talked yesterday about
but
the
it
mission
changes
of their
again.
shows.
Yeah.
What is their mission statement? Who are they reaching? What are their demographics? Because we've got people and clients that we work with that want a more of a diverse demographic, a different reach than you and I have. They want a younger demographic, which is why we were talked about yesterday. Who is their demographic? What is your reach?
Oh, my reach, I say, I'm always in and around Broward, so I always want to speak for the voices of Broward that are actually making noise or actually making an imprint like me to actually get a stage. Because honestly, in Broward, not saying that a lot of people do get skipped over or do fly under the radar, but it happens a lot. So if I can in Broward County give anybody a voice, it can not only be just Broward County, it can be West Palm or Miami, but if I can give you a main stage for a voice to show off your talent or show off your product, no problem with me, and you'll have an enjoying conversation with me. I'm like the voice of positivity, not like Freddie over here that's compatible, but I'll be the voice of positivity because honestly, I feed off that same energy, and the fact that most of the people that I've been bringing in are hungry, I like it too because they match my same frequency. So
Did you see what happened in the election in Broward County last week?
yes, I did see what happened because I was following the police chief, and Scott Israel got reelected, but they said the whole thing was
Well, he got
rigged.
nominated. Isn't the election November?
No, he got
He's
he got
out.
nominated.
Huh?
He's out.
Who's out?
He won.
Tony Gregory
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got elected.
time out. I didn't hear this. I Scott Israel.
Scott Israel. I heard Scott Israel's name in the mix, and I heard somebody
Palm
said,
Beach, right?
No, that's Broward.
So okay, so he's in.
Yeah.
So who's in? Who's Tony?
You
What do you mean
guys-
he's out?
You guys got to look at the election last week of Broward County's election. It is unbelievable. You talk about changing of the guard.
Who?
I want you to look up
looking it
all
up
the
right
Broward
now.
County
Give
election
me the
winners.
short version.
I'm going to give you the short version. The short version is Broward County was once culturally a white, heavily Jewish demographic that ran Broward County's
Okay.
committees,
Okay.
elections, everything, government offices. Last week, the people came out and voted, and it has totally changed. Everyone that was elected has changed. It is
Correct.
now African American,
But it's not Scott Israel.
black. No, that's what I'm telling you, and it's
Not.
not just sheriff. Across the board.
But Scott Israel won.
No, we didn't.
No. It was like they were claiming that it was rigged. One of the
Whoa,
sheriffs
whoa,
did
wait a
drop
minute.
off.
You guys didn't bring this up. I didn't even know. I thought he won. So he did not win.
No, I
So
don't
who's the
think
new
so.
sheriff?
I'm looking up right now.
Teddy,
I
are
am
you
telling-
following this?
Broward County, the people of, and that's what I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
about your show, Slick.
True.
The people of Broward County, they went out and they voted. You talk about different people
But it
coming
is-
out and voting and making
But
their
who
voice
won?
heard.
I'm looking it up right now, but it is a change in Broward County. It's like a whole different.
It's a whole different
feel.
change.
Since
Even
I
the
came,
sheriff
since
won?
I
Public
came back,
defen-
yeah,
Public defender, sheriff.
Correct.
Yeah.
I thought the sheriff
Everything.
won.
Well,
Because I
sheriff
had
won,
to-
but it wasn't Scott Israel.
It wasn't Scott Israel. So who's the sheriff that won? You don't even know who won.
Hold on.
I do, but I'm going
The
to let.
world is upside down. We got
No.
fantastic.
I want
we
Slick
got
to check it
announcing
out.
news, and we
Research,
got nobody that announced it. This is crazy.
when Gregory Tony wins
Who?
by
Gregory
narrow
Tony.
victory
Who the hell
over
is
Scott
Gregory
Israel.
Tony?
Oh, he's the
bo-
one that was all this controversy.
I think you've seen him before.
There was alleged controversy on his background.
Correct.
And do you remember? And do you remember one of the other candidates contacted us because there was so much smut.
it was 4,000 votes put in,
Gregory Tony
and
won the
he
election.
won, and I think it was him that was pointing out the fact of like, is this going to be a biased election? And I'm pretty sure that was him because I was reading a story about that, like, because I pay attention to the law enforcement in Broward County and the fact
has
that they are
all
making a change.
changed.
Yeah,
It has all changed. The law
So it's
enforcement,
good.
the public defenders, everything changed.
it's more multicultural now. It's not like
Well, there's a recount going in Broward County right now.
Well, there's always going to be recount because there's always going to be somebody else that doesn't think it's fair, right? Yes, Teddy, your grandma says your audience is very proud of all your young, talented people. Thank you. We could not do what we do without our entire crew. It's a total change.
I can't. There's too much information here.
No, it's
Somebody
not
do
too
me a
much
favor.
information.
If you know who won
I'm
the damn
reading it right
election,
now.
somebody give us a call and let me know, because I can't believe you guys didn't bring this up. So the sheriff is out and we got a new sheriff.
Yes,
got a
new
new
sheriff in
sheriff in
town. Yes.
And you guys didn't
But,
say
um,
nothing. How can you not say nothing? Was that the new sheriff in the show?
No.
No.
Oh, new sheriff wasn't on my show. I was just following it because I'm
How
like,
come
are
the
they
new
gonna
sheriff wasn't
repick?
on any of our shows?
We have not had any of the
We had
elected
everybody else.
We haven't we have not had the elected officials of Broward County on our show.
Okay. I have some results.
The
On
results
District 20, you have Greg Musselwhite, who won over Vic DeGrum. I'm sorry for your last name, DeGrummett. He won District 20, and in Greg's a Republican.
Okay.
So he won District
Just
20.
tell me the sheriff. Who's the new sheriff?
Okay.
And are you sure this
New
was
sheriff is Tony. Yeah.
It's
New
Gregory
sheriff
So,
is
so
Tony.
this
Gregory
wasn't the
Tony.
primaries. This was the election.
Mhm.
So they got rid of the old sheriff.
Correct.
Wow. I thought he won.
Because I was gonna go down, but
Nope.
I mean, we can take a look. But mostly, all the winners were. I'll say blue.
of color.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing
I
wrong
mean,
with that.
no, I think it's unbelievable. What
Yeah.
my point is, we talk about all the time is when you get out and you vote and your voice is heard.
Yes.
And you make a difference.
There's
You
a-
can change politics. You can change the course of what you are looking for when you get out and you vote, right? And you make a difference.
That's what I had to tell my mom. I'm like, Mom, it's not just the main election. It's Broward County too. It's not like, the main election does matter, but like your local election does matter as well, because you got to elect the right representatives to represent you.
And people
your
are
district.
happy about it.
Correct.
They're really happy
Yeah.
with the change of the guard. Change of guard is all I can tell you.
There's a lot of changes
It's
here.
a lot of changes.
The-
I know.
It is.
Debbie Wasserman won again. 72% of the vote. You know who Debbie Wasserman is? I had a run-in with Debbie.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, she got mad at me for the wrong reasons.
Why am I not surprised that she won?
Frederica Wilson won again with 84% of the vote. She's been in there forever.
Her name's Frederico?
Frederica Wilson.
There
yeah.
you go.
Ted Deutsch won again because nobody went up against him.
No.
He's with us. Well, I guess he's considered Broward County because he's Coral Springs, right?
Yes,
Parkland.
Springs,
I
yes.
always think he's
And
both. But yeah.
Spicer also unopposed won again. There's nobody to run against him. I would run against both of them.
Maybe like this is like the first step of change in Broward County. Like I feel like the next election for like local officials, I feel like more people will run against those ones that were running by themselves.
I think sheriff was huge. I
Sheriff
think
was because
that made a
there was
huge
like
statement.
3 or 4 sheriffs that wanted to win and get Scott Israel out.
Right? It's a
This is
whole
pretty
big change.
impressive.
Yeah. It's a whole
Everybody got voted out. Damn, about time.
It's a whole demographic right now.
Right? It
But
totally
it's about
changes.
time. I gotta tell you, this is really good and stuff. I can't believe you guys didn't tell me this when it happened.
We hadn't talked about it. We were just
Yeah.
talking about it now, actually. When he started talking about Broward County, it made me think about it, that this is everything we talk about on our show, that every vote matters. And whatever you vote for, if you believe in it and your people and your community, you all stand together and you truly have an impact and you share your voice and you get out there and vote, and that's your way of getting your voice out, it makes a difference.
But there you have to
Correct.
change, right? Everybody want to change, and there you have it. You know, it makes me laugh. The federal branch of the government is 3 branches, right? And everybody makes a big deal about the president of the United States, who technically, according to the Constitution, is the general of the armies, and he mints the money. Did you know the president mints the money?
He signs it. Good morning,
Oh.
Pierre.
Okay, so you have that. But nobody takes seriously the people you send to Washington. Your congressmen, your senators.
You don't think people take that seriously?
They're doing it now
Yeah.
because of all the mistakes that they make.
Did you see Melania Trump last night?
What'd you think about that?
I was busy writing. I was doing some stuff last night, and I saw a synopsis this morning. She's a beautiful woman.
That's not what I'm talking about. What'd you think about what she said?
Who?
I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's in a tough situation as a first lady.
I believe so too.
Do you think that her
Okay.
and the president have a relationship?
I think that's not my business to say. I think she said everything a
Okay.
wife standing by her husband should say.
Okay, then let me ask you a question. It's not for you to say, but you want me to trust somebody who can't have a relationship in the White House, has nothing to do with running the country.
You didn't ask me about that. You asked me what did I
But do
think
you
of
think
Melania
I was
Trump.
watching a cartoon last night? And I'm gonna tell you something. I thought that Trump as a businessman was cool. Everything else, she even said it. He's not a politician.
Yeah.
We didn't want a politician. We wanted somebody to fix the problem, except there's a right way of doing it and then there's the other way of doing it. So she said up there, listen, this ain't perfect. I can't stand it when the news takes and they backlash everything that the Republican Party does. They're even going to do an inquiry now whether or not what he did was even legal yesterday, because he did business and
At the White
politics
House.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And they said you can't do that. I
Can't
said,
do
no,
that.
no. You may, every other president in the world has done it, but that's okay.
I think as a woman, she stood by her husband as the first lady of our nation and did what the first lady of our nation
When was the last time
should do.
you saw her do it? Compare
Well,
her to Michelle Obama.
I think they're late on the delivery of her message. If in fact this is her message, I think they're late in the delivery of bringing her forward for women's rights. Is
Yeah.
what truly in my heart. This should have been going on for 4 years, and I know she's got a campaign against bullying, but we don't see it enough.
Well, the
Correct.
problem
She's
we
here to help
have,
kids. We don't see it enough. They have
Correct.
not put her in the public eye to get that female vote now until there's a female VP running, and I'm afraid it might be a little too late for that message to get out.
well, I don't
Correct.
think it's real, unfortunately, because it hasn't been there for 4 years. They're putting this add water
Or
and mix.
has it been there and the media
Just been
put it down
focusing
because
on-
they were promoting all his negative
Yeah.
things that he
Well,
they
I
think he
wanted
was
to ask
doing.
you guys. Remember the kid that went and the anti-abortion thing, and he went to Washington D.C. and he was confronted by an Indian with a drum, and the kid
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
red hat. What was the controversy? I know that they got in his face and they talked a lot about it.
Teddy, do you remember?
He was there last night. He said he spoke, but he didn't talk about the incident. He says, if you're under a rock, you know what happened to me. I must have been under a
No,
rock.
we had talked about it on the show.
But what happened?
It's about like when they went up. Is it when they went up to Mount Rushmore and then
He went to the Lincoln Memorial because he was born in the hometown where Abraham Lincoln was born, and they were talking about abortion and anti-abortion, and he was anti, and there were people when you have the right to choose. They confronted him with a drum, so he put on America is Great Again, a red hat, and they showed all of the hosts of late night shows that created this whole thing. I mean, it just got out of hand, and I'm trying to figure out what happened.
The media can make things out of hand. So was Melania's message pushed down because they were elevating the things they didn't like that her husband was doing? I don't know. The media, what the media puts out is what the public sees.
The media wants to control the election.
What the mass
Yeah.
media. So I was talking to somebody last night, and he says to me, I do not watch mainstream TV anymore. He said he's a big, huge proponent of streaming and all these other networks. He says, because I can get much more information. I can get more reliable information because it's not paid for by, it's not supported by, it's not controlled by corporations.
Well, I got a question to ask you guys.
And that's why he wants to put his message out.
I got a question to ask you
Yeah.
guys. There was a probe all the way up to impeachment on the president, which they didn't get the votes because they're talking about how the Russians infiltrated the elections between Hillary and Trump, right? They said that the Russians had something to do with it. Doesn't the media have something to do with it, if not worse? And there's no investigation
Yes.
on them?
The ventriloquists of the society. Yes, they do.
Oh, I
Thank
like
you.
that,
Like,
Slick.
to be honest with you, like, I don't blame them for not watching mainstream media. The person that you're talking about, but like the media does play a big part.
Huge.
They want to control the election.
Yeah.
So because Trump has fought with every media outlet that there is, nobody
Yeah.
likes him in the media. Okay, and he said it. I'm not here to be like him. I'm here to
Yeah.
do a job.
Well, he
and if
also
you're gonna
puts out some
report,
stuff on his own.
well, if
that-
he shut his
True,
mouth, he'll
that
be
too,
way ahead
yeah,
of the
that
game.
too.
He put some
That's-
tweets out that you can't even blame the media for. If he's push and send, that's all I can
That's
tell
But
you.
let me ask you a question. With all the stupidity that the president has said, for 1 second, do you think that maybe there's 1 ounce of truth to it?
Some of it?
I mean, he talks about the media lying. Do you think they lie? Do you think the media exaggerates?
Exaggerates. Some of them.
Do you think
yes.
they lie?
I would hope not. I would hope.
That's
as a
not the question. But
I
you
would
got-
hope as a responsible journalist they are
Yes.
not lying. But
Yes.
do
But
they
do-
maybe get misfacts?
Or do they?
don't know.
Or they're too quick to give the information, or they taint the information,
Or they dissect it too quick. Like, you know, when Melania's speech and everybody's speech went out. Not saying I agree with none of their speeches, but they dissect like one point of the speech. That's why I always tell people just to watch the whole speech and then
Get your own opinion.
get your
Yeah.
own perspective on it. Because like if you hear the snippets that they put, you're gonna be thinking, oh, clearly she's not for me, or clearly he's not for me. Get your own information. Watch the whole speech, because I feel like most of the anchors right now, don't want to name out any channels, but most of the anchors right now are mostly opinion based.
All of them are.
To the point that it's like, are they even basing stuff on facts, or are they just basing stuff on
That's my
emotion
question, Slick.
for votes?
That's what I'm talking about.
Interesting.
Are they tainting the truth so that they can get you to vote a certain way? But how come there's no investigation to that?
Nah.
Isn't that?
I think that's a gray area, so there's never an investigation. That's a gray area that no
Is that
one
freedom of
wants to
speech?
touch.
You see,
I
but
don't know. I'm asking.
but there's freedom of speech, and then there's controlling a whole process of election, which they wanted to impeach somebody because they said that they put him up to it, that he deals with the Russians. There was a bounty on United States soldiers in Afghanistan, supposedly put out by the Russians, and the president knew about it and did nothing. I mean, it just gets uglier and uglier.
It's
and
a lot of
uglier.
ugliness, and that's the part that I don't like, is the ugliness. Do you think, we talked about when this all started and school shut down, that this was the dumbing down of the next generation by keeping them out of school and not having them educated appropriately. Do you think, though, that by people being home, Slick, maybe your generation, Vinny, you too, that you guys are actually wanting to learn and investigating on your own and forming opinions? Or do you think people just don't even want anything to do with it? They're done.
I feel like it goes both ways, either or.
You think both?
I'll say like we will want to learn more depending on the person. So same way like either or, but I feel like we will want to learn more because being that we're out of the classroom now, it's kind of put on us.
That's what I'm learning.
To
Now
learn
that you're
more.
out of the classroom, those are going to step up and take the responsibility to educate
I'm
That's
themselves.
what
gonna
I
give
tell
you
my niece.
4
I'm like,
answers to that question.
You got to
That's
learn, yeah.
Nice.
4 answers.
How old is your niece? 1 second.
She's 10 years old. I'm like, you have to learn everything that you need because they're not. What
Yeah.
is it? There's no teacher for you to say, can you look back at this? I can look it up for her, but like, she has to go out of her way now
It's
to
a little
actually learn.
Interesting. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
If you go kindergarten to 5th, 6 to 12,
Okay.
and then college, and then after college, if you break it up into groups, this is going to affect people differently.
Yeah.
I think that the earlier schools, yes, you got to get that foundation. You got to learn that 1 and 1 equals 2
Yeah.
all the time. Not some of the time, all the time.
Always.
Then when you get into high school, you begin to develop that 1 and 1 divided by 1 is still 1. Okay?
Point. Yeah.
And then when you get to college, E equals MC squared, and there's a 1 in it somewhere. I just think that it changes. But I think that
That was horrible.
college kids can do a whole lot more damage on this side of the equation because they're going to learn on the cuff here and in real life as opposed to a kindergarten 5th grader who's got to learn it in school. So it's an interesting question.
Very interesting. Interesting conversations, guys. We got to get ready. No pun intended. It's coming up momentarily. Tune in at 2020 Vision for that. We've got 10:30. We've got with Lenny.
Yes.
Music therapy with Lenny Marine. We've got
That's gonna be
Fuego at
fun.
11:30. A lot of things happening, and tune in because there's so many things happening that I got to look at the schedule. I think I need to keep a schedule with me all the time in my
I think
phone
so
or at
too.
home. Maybe
All
we
right,
need
let's
to
get-
create an app.
Right, we're talking about that. Okay.
Have a great morning, everyone. Stay safe. Be kind to each other.
don't be
just
late.
Form your opinions.
We'll see you later.
Bye bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.
and sleepless nights. I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors, just a ray of